whether you expect it or not. I will show one type of noun indexation, and that is with a verb. So in French, just as in Turkish, the verb has to agree with the number of its subject. So you have a noun phrase in the plural, the verb will receive plural marking as well. But this kind of the noun is really the controller in French, because even feminine nouns will assign feminine gender. Now there is, in other languages there is other kind of indexation, and what I'm going to show is a language from Irian Jaya, that's Kanu. They have postpositions. This is a geographical, this is not a genealogical assignment, it's a geographical assignment. There is a national park here, and the languages in it sort of look like each other. This is what we know. So in Kanu there are postpositions, and they may indicate location, motion, or lack of it, stability. So to say that it's on the roof, the phrase, so we will have the postposition will come after the noun. This is what postpositions do. Now, when you indicate a specific roof with a demonstrative, the postposition has to be indicated on the demonstrative as well. Not marked, not on the modifying adjective. So on that white roof, the agreement or indexation of the locative goes between the noun and the demonstrative. And this holds for other postpositions, all the postpositions. So from that river, we'll have motion from, and that motion from will be on the demonstrative. But if you just want to say towards the big forest, Nge is not on the big. Okay. There will be more agreements to come. Now, categories that are typically reflected as inflection on nouns are number, case, this you should know from Turkish, definiteness, agreement, and possession. Possession should be also familiar. So here I'll give you like a paradigm of Polish, three Polish nouns, where you'll get like a full picture of nouns inflected for number and 7 cases. And what one is to notice and to take is that there are different suffixes, but there is not much stem change, there is no meaning change. This is what inflection is. All of these are valid forms. They have to be there in specific contexts when you use nouns in Polish. This is what should be like the familiar picture what nouns look like. They will have lexical gender. If the language has a case system, they will inflect for case, and they are likely to distinguish singular and plural or some kind of numeral category. What is not too familiar from outside of Eurasia is that languages, for instance, huge number of languages in Africa, huge numbers of languages in Australia use a much more detailed system for gender assignment, and this is gender classification. So we go into Tanzania and the language Namba. Now, this is part of a Bantu language. This is a Bantu language. One of the main characteristics of Bantu languages is that nouns are grouped in specific classes. These classes can cover large numbers. Sometimes, here I've given only part of these classes. The full number of noun classes in TOBB is, I believe, or if I remember, 19. These classes are partly semantically motivated. So usually, and the numbering is arbitrary, but in the classes that when you go and start to describe the language and the way people look at it, one class is always devoted to humans and higher beings. Another class is devoted to smaller things, still very important for domestic life. There will be another class devoted to livestock. There will be classes devoted to small things, big things, long things, so they will have some property of the object will be reflected in the noun class. As the language keeps, some of these noun classes get overgeneralized over time and they evolve into the more general genders that we are more familiar with. But there is a huge literature on noun classification and how noun class assignment works. At some point, somebody worked on an Australian language, Walpiri, and in this language, women, fire, and snakes were in one and the same class. This prompted George Lakoff to write like a huge book about the metaphorical thinking of human beings and how women, fire, and dangerous things get put into one and the same class. I have another example later on of how other things get put into one and the same class, and they're much closer to here. Now, to show you, so this is a noun in a Bantu language will have this prefix. This is the class prefix that identifies what class it belongs to. That prefix will have reflections when the noun is used as a subject, and when the noun is used as an object, it will also go on the verb, it will go on the adjective that the noun occurs with, and it will also go on the determiner. So that prefix is very important. You need to know it. So I'll pick up that one because it's the easiest to remember, and that refers to plants. I'm not going into anything dangerous. So I'll see like a sentence such as these bushes are being cut by my older brother with a knife. What is interesting to us is to see these bushes. It has the phi prefix, then the demonstrative has it as well. And finally, we come to the verb form. See, it's not just Navajo that uses template morphology. On this verb, it's probably an easier morphology to decipher, but still, this is your stem. When you have a transitive verb cut, it has to index. This is why you say it has to index what is being cut. So it takes that same marker. And it comes before the stem. So all of this is completely obligatory. It has to be there when a noun is used. So a noun is used in a phrase, it has a demonstrative that follows it, it has a verb that follows it. All of these have to index the noun for its class. Okay. I know it's probably a lot, but this is one kind of inflection that is very widespread in the languages. Now if I go over to derivation, are you ready for a break?